Hello friends, it's that time of month again, the wrap up. So I did not successfully read as many books as I wanted to. So we're gonna get into that and get in the books that I read, some movies I saw, some TV shows I watched. So let's get started. As always, please forgive me for the background noise. Again, my room just doesn't have air conditioning. Story of my life. So the first book that I read, really? Right now, Tony? Cats. Can't live with them. I can't live without them. Anyway, the first book I read this month was Serpent and Dove by Shelley Murren. I liked it personally. I know a lot of people didn't. I guess when I read, I don't want to say I'm not a deep reader, but I'm reading for pure entertainment, whether it's terrible entertainment or just quality entertainment. Tony. Yeah. Sorry, I had to get my cat away. So I liked it a lot. I think I would pick up the sequel if and when it comes out, but we'll see. I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5. I think I might have given it 4 stars on Goodreads, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. The next book that I read, it is the second book of the Dorothy Must Die series called The Wicked Will Rise by Daniel Page. I really enjoyed it. It was much darker than the first one, a lot more gory, a lot more political without being overly political. Hello, I'm Looking at You, Wicked by Gregor Maguire. And I'm really excited to read the next 2 books, finally finish the conclusion of this series because I'm obviously way behind. The next book I read, or I listened to because I borrowed it from the library, is called The Royal We by Heather Cox. I'm not lying, her last name is Cox. I did get a giggle out of that because I'm a 12-year-old boy, mentally. So I started off really liking this book. It's about 500 pages. I think it's an adult romance. We're also going to talk about that a little bit later. It's more or less kind of fan fiction of Prince William and Kate Middleton, except Kate is American. And it started off so cute and I really liked it, but then it just got really convoluted and dramatic for no reason by the time I got to the ending. So I gave this book maybe 3 stars because I started off enjoying it, but then I didn't really enjoy the ending. And there's supposed to be a sequel where they talk about the royal baby. And essentially you're following our main character, who is the American that ends up falling in love with the Prince of England. And he has this younger brother, Freddie, and some shenanigans ensue. Also, the main character has a twin, and there's just a lot of like unnecessary drama. I understand there's romance, and I know I'm really like reaching here, but all of the drama that happened ended up making me dislike the main characters, and I just couldn't get past that. That's me. The next book I read was Selena's Secret by Maria Celeste Arrerias. I wrote it down so I could say it right. And I hated it. It made me really angry. It wasn't disrespectful of Selena or anything, but it did not. Can you guys not fight for 2 seconds? Cats, man. Cats. Anyway. Selena's Secret ended up being, it felt like it was more about Maria's time at her news station at Telemundo. I think it was Telemundo, or was it Univision? I want to say it was Univision. I don't even remember because it made me angry. And it was about a lot of Yolanda's trial, which was interesting, but I just felt really deceived because as advertised on the back, it talks about Selena's Secret. I mean, it's called Selena's Secret, and it talks about like this secret is the reason why she went to the hotel that day to meet Yolanda. Salvador, if you don't know this story of Selena, can you not for 2 seconds? My tiny Tony? You should Google it. Selena Quintanilla. Very interesting. Also, her music is great. I'm not a big fan of like cumbia, but Selena's music just transcends something else. And I think it's great, and I think her life was cut too short. But there's a lot of awful things that were said about her family and the people that she surrounded herself with. And okay, you get to be in the video now. You want to play with it so bad? You'll be in the video. We're going to talk about Selena, okay? I know you love Selenas. We love Selenas. So to me, she was a beautiful person, and this book didn't convey that. So, I mean, I know she was human, but still, I gave it 2 stars. I do not recommend. There's a lot of other Selena books that I would read over this. One of them actually written by the widow, Chris Perez. It's called To Selena with Love. And I really liked that. It was really sweet and heartbreaking. But, yeah. The next book I read is The Elizas by Sarah Shepard. It's one of her adult fiction books. If you know the name Sarah Shepard, she wrote the Pretty Little Liars series, the Perfectionist series, the Lying Game series. I really like her, except for the Pretty Little Liars series, just because I felt like she was trying to get more money out of me. Anyway, I read The Elizas at my local library, and it follows our main character, who's named Eliza, and she has recently been fished out of a pool. People think that she tried to commit suicide, and she says that she didn't. She says she was pushed, and she has recently written a book called The Dots, and the book is written from Eliza's perspective, and then it has little excerpts of the book that she's written in the book called The Dots, and it was very interesting. Not overly convoluted, but I still have more questions than I have answers. I really enjoyed it nonetheless. I gave it 4 stars. I would have given it 3.5 stars if I could have. But either way, I liked it for her first adult fiction novel. For me, anyway, it's the first one I've read of hers. I really liked it. The next book I'm ashamed of, but I'm going to show you that I physically have it because I didn't know my library had it till after I bought it. Gray by E.L. James. I read this book. I read all 558 pages. I did a video on it. If you want to know more, I gave it 1 star. It's going away. Prepare yourself for the sound. Anyway, the last book I read because I was trying to get the awful taste of gray out of my mouth, out of my brain, out of my ears, out of my head. And you can't just directly pour like bleach into your brain, I found out. So I read My Friend Dahmer by Durf McDurf. Either way, makes me laugh. It's his real name. I'm really sorry, Durf. It's a graphic novel about Jeffrey Dahmer, which I found out it's a true story. Durf actually went to school with Jeffrey Dahmer. And it's kind of his analysis, more or less, of how Dahmer was in high school. And it's tragic the way that young adults and teens and children were treated in the 70s and the 80s. Just the way mental health was treated in general. I don't know if it would have made a difference to Jeffrey Dahmer. He made his decisions. But it was a very insightful look on everything. And it still made me feel gross and weird, but in a different way than Gray did. And the fact that those two feelings came from, like, the same feelings came from 2 different places, that should say a lot. So, that's it. That's all I read. I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books in a month, which isn't too bad considering I wasn't feeling great. I had my birthday, I had a cold, and then I had an infection. Story of my life. So, let's talk about some movies I saw. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Oh, okay. It's not a new movie. It came out in 2017, but it's a Netflix original, and I watched it for spooky season. I love spooky season. It is called The Babysitter, and it's a Netflix original. I think I already said that. But if you like slasher films and like movies that like to poke fun at itself in its own genre, I highly recommend The Babysitter. It has, what's her name? Samara Weaving, I want to say, and Bella Thorne. And it was very entertaining. I've seen it 2 or 3 times now, and each time I'm just as entertained. I haven't liked a slasher movie in a really long time. And it was a lot of fun. Another Netflix movie that I saw this month is In the Tall Grass. And it's actually a novella written by, I want to say, Stephen King and Joe Hill. I could be wrong. It was creepy. It gave me the heebie-jeebies. But I watched it with my friend Chandler, and he just makes everything funny and more of a joke, so it made it a little bit easier for me to watch. But if you want something creepy and good, that was a good movie. In the Tall Grass. I know his name's Patrick. Nope, I don't remember his name. Just forget it. Just forget what I said. Just watch In the Tall Grass. In the Tall Grass. Yes, on Netflix. I did watch a new show this month. I binged it. It was great. It was The Politician. I don't know how y'all feel about Ryan Murphy. After Glee, I feel kind of burned, and my husband is going to fight me for that because he loves Glee. But I watched The Politician, and it stars Ben Platt, and I believe Gwyneth Paltrow is in a few episodes, and it was wild and endearing, and it reminded me of Gossip Girl, and I love Gossip Girl. I am Gossip Girl's bitch. I love Gossip Girl. And it reminded me of Gossip Girl, but on the West Coast and more politics. And I loved it. I love trash. Everybody knows I'm trash. So that was really fast. I didn't think that it wasn't going to take this long. Okay. That teaches me to film around my cats and leave the door open. I'm sorry for the shaky camera. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to no one. I want to give a shout out to whoever's watching this. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And my friend who leaves me comments, we're friends now. I don't know if you know, but we're friends. And yeah, so I want to say, Griffith, if you're watching, don't quote me, please. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you hopefully in a couple of days. Goodbye.